morning, everybody, and welcome back to another incredible episode of Death in Cambodia, Life in America. It is your favorite host, Dorothy, here, back with another episode. I am so excited for today's guest. You guys know that I've kind of been on this like foodie chef hype with all the different food creatives that we've been bringing on. Today, you guys have definitely seen his name all over TikTok and Instagram, Charles Calvino.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Charles. He is a Cambodian American born in Long Beach, but now currently residing in the Midwest, whose culinary journey began from an early age, but you have probably seen him on season 13 of MasterChef USA. He is now a rising star in the world of food content creation and has a huge following on Instagram and TikTok. You've probably seen his videos highlighting Khmer food out there in this like beautiful video format. It's not always about food for him, though. Honestly, it's about sharing the Khmer culture, connection, and telling our Khmer stories out to the world. And through his beautiful cooking tutorials and recipes, he's doing more than just sharing delicious meals, but I feel like he's doing an amazing job at bringing Khmer cuisine to the world and forefronting it. Charles.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to get invited to come on the podcast with Dorothy because I've always seen her doing podcasts all over with everybody else. And just to get asked to do one, I'm like almost a little starstruck.
Well, honestly, Charles, I have probably saved like half of your page on my little recipe thing. Like, I'm like, I have to make this. Oh, I have to make this.
I was like, who's saving this?
That's me. That's me. But welcome to the podcast. Honestly, I am so excited to have you on here. And I know that there's a bunch of listeners out here who have also saved your recipes on their Instagram and TikTok.
Thank you all so much.
I love to bring on guests, especially when it comes to Khmer Americans. I love to always travel back in time a little bit and start the conversation with your childhood, how you grew up, where you grew up, and what was specifically your relationship with your Khmer identity while you were growing up?
So I was born in Long Beach, California. I grew up with 5 other brothers and sisters. Me being the 5th child, it was not that easy, and I'm sure everybody else can relate as well. Being the second youngest of the family, you know, you're basically like, nobody really listens to you and all that stuff, whatever. You don't really have a say-so, but just being around them and then my family, of course, my mom and dad most of the time, we didn't really grow up in the nice areas. So playtime was very, very limited to us. You know, mom and dad didn't really allow us to play outside and didn't really let us really interact with other people because of fear. Fear of, you know, our mom and dad's coming from Khmer for the first time. They're just not well known out there or speak English or like that. They're just afraid for their kids. So I took the opportunity to just watch my mom cook all the time. From then on, I just adapted to like everyday lifestyle, like how my mom would treat us and stuff every day, because my mom was a cook too. So my mom was a cook, and that's where I got it from. And so I learned a lot of things just like sitting with her, just like learning, even though like, you know, sometimes our mom would be like, "Tia ching ma?" You know, we're in the way. So I didn't listen. So I'm like, I'm just gonna watch my mom cook. And I'm like, I would like to cook for my siblings when they get older. You know, smato, we talk about if like mom and dad is no longer here, I want to be able to carry on my mom's, you know, cooking recipes and all that stuff, making sure like my brothers and sisters have this wholesome feel of mom's presence still being around in my hands, you know? So with my identity, once I got older, I wanted to dig deeper into who I was, what's my background. I wanted to know more. And so by me doing that, just learning all different recipes, meeting people just like me, even in at school or in our everyday life. And we grew up Christian as well. And so we would go to church. and meet other Cambodian Christians as well. I was never really taught on, the whole Buddhist side. And
Mm.
I don't feel like we talk about that a lot in the community because it was always brought up as Buddhism, which I have nothing against it. Like I go with my friends to wanting to learn to understand. And so I'm pretty happy nowadays where my friends would take me to the temple with them and then I would just learn everything from them. And I'm pretty grateful and thankful for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Your earliest memory of cooking with your mom then, how old were you? And were you in Long Beach at the time or were you already in the Midwest?
I was already in Long Beach at that time. I believe I was probably 7 or 8. And
Wow.
yeah, it's like you go to school, you come back, homework, not really allowed to go outside. So stayed inside most of the time. We played amongst ourselves, all five, six of us, and we had a good time still until this day. We're like so close as siblings. And so that's why I was like every Sunday, it's like everybody comes together because food brings us together at home. And so mom and dad would love to just have all of their kids at least for one day out of the week. And Sunday is the day that we get together. And that's how we've been doing it ever since. But now I'm in the Midwest and now I'm doing the traditional hosting in my house. So,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
hmm
I mean, out of five siblings, though, you were the only one that was paying attention to the food. I mean, everybody was home, but
Everybody
what
was
what
home. Yeah.
what was it that you feel like it was different about you that like truly was paying attention to the food? Was it something that you always was just drawn to?
I believe it was something that I was always drawn to as a child, as a young 6, 7 year old boy.
Yeah.
I've always like every time we go to the stores, even to the Khmer markets, you see like poster boards of Amsterdam or the beautiful Uncle Wat on the walls everywhere you go, and you're just kind of like, wow, this mural or picture is just so pretty. And then like the girls, like they're Khmer like me, all these people. And so like we would have traditional like Christian Khmer music that we sing with our youth groups and stuff or whatever. So I was very drawn into like the culture. I didn't know much about it at a young age as
Mhm.
much until I got more older. That's when I moved to the Midwest and I started connecting more and more and wanting to know more and more about my identity and background. So that's how I am here now.
Yeah, I mean, you were in Long Beach. So you basically grew up in Long Beach.
Yeah, up until when I was like 13. That's when we
Okay.
moved here. Yeah.
I mean, I almost kind of feel like people who grow up in Long Beach because they have such a big Khmer population there,
Oh, yeah.
they grow up like a little bit differently because from other people who don't have that community because I feel like people in Long Beach, they never question it if you grew
hmm
up there. Like if you grow up in Long Beach, you have grown up with a pretty strong identity of being Khmer. Whereas I
Yes.
feel like if you grew up in other places who like there's only one other Khmer family in the entire city, it's like, and then the rest are like, Chinese or Vietnamese or like whatever
hmm
type of Asian, it's a little bit harder to kind of ground yourself in your Khmer identity. But it seems like you grew up with that, and that's super cool. You didn't really leave it until later in your teenage years, right?
Yeah. And then once I moved here, I'm just kind of like, I just felt some sort of emptiness as well. Just
Mm,
because, like, we moved to the Midwest, predominantly white neighborhood, not much Khmer stores or anything Khmer that I was so used
right,
to growing up with.
right.
So the only Khmer feel that I would have is at home. And when you're at home, you just
Mm,
feel that home feel like, crocodile. It's something now that it's gotten a lot better actually here because like I see a lot more Khmer people now and like I do more things to involve myself with the community as well here. And so even though that we're kind of like spread around, like it's very sparse. We don't really see each other around unless like we go to festivals or the temple or just your normal everyday one. That's when I connect with my people the most, And not only that, now I'm more adapt to it. I have my parents and stuff with me now, and so I don't feel like it's like a total loss anymore. When I first moved here.
I mean, it makes almost total sense because you grew up with such a strong Khmer identity, and then you moved to a place that like doesn't really have many Khmer markets or
Yeah.
probably
Yeah. Oh
restaurants
my
even.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you immediately feel this kind of loss, and it's like, well, where else am I going to get my flavors that I've been craving?
Yeah.
I
My
guess I
bahog,
just
my.
my bancha. Where's like, well,
Yeah.
how do I get all my things? It's like, okay, well,
Mhm.
I guess I can just start making it at home. So through your teenage years and then college, you were already cooking, or was there like a different career you thought that
Yeah,
you were going
well,
to
the thing was, I started off as a hairstylist. So I still do
do?
hair now. I make my own schedule. Um,
Yeah.
so I still do hair. It's just something behind me now. Now it's just more focused on cooking, elevating Khmer dishes, and just educating a lot of people about Khmer recipes and what it's about, what are we known for, and all that stuff. So that's like my typical goal now. Ever since being on the show, I just felt like I needed to prove myself a lot more because I felt like it was not shown or highlighted enough. And so I just
Mm.
took matters into my own hands.
Okay. You went through high school and college and you became a hairstylist. And I know you're still a traveling hairstylist. I did read that
Hmm.
about you as well.
Hmm.
But when did you start your food page? Did it start as a hobby, or what created that spark?
You know what? It's just like, I come from a family that is involved with food so much, and so growing up, me doing hair and stuff, I would always do my mom's hair for weddings and stuff. And sometimes I would do homecomings and stuff like styling, or now that I'm older, cut and color and all that stuff. And so, like, in the meantime of cutting and coloring while we wait for the process and stuff, I just, I'm hungry. Let me make you some food. So I've always thought about like, coming out with a book later on called Hair in My Food. So, and it goes into details explaining like, when you see hair in your food, you're just kind of like, what? Hair in my food? But there's more to the story behind it. So I think it's something that I'm looking into doing soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something more of like that. So like, I just love seeing like different kind of flavors, recipes and stuff online. I don't just make my food. I'm very versatile in the kitchen. Also being in a not so much anymore, but like growing up, we had Mexican Cambodians in the family. So hence Calvino. So it was more so like we grew up learning how to cook tortillas and carne asada, pozole, y mole,
Mhm.
and all that stuff or whatever. So like it's kind of cool, but I'm 100% Khmer, but it's just like my aunt's side of the family. It's like, we grew up around, the Mexican culture as well. So I think
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
cool and fun to have that. Yeah.
And so how old were you? Because you've grown up with so much cuisine in your family. How old were you when you first started the page?
I think I was about, I'm going to say 17, 18.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
17.
it's been so it's been how many years since you've been
Mhm.
kind of building this platform?
At least over 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of the OGs on Instagram, then you must be, because
I can't take full credit on that, but I've been around.
no,
So,
it's super cool. I mean, that's the cool thing about social media nowadays, right?
mhm.
Like that people and creatives are able, if no matter at what age, if you feel kind of an inkling for some sort of creativity to share something with the world, then you can kind of easily have an outlet to do that.
Yep.
And so like even at your late teenage years, you were like, I really like food. I grew up with a bunch of food. Let me
Oh, yeah.
start. Did it start? Were you doing the same thing that you were doing now? Like, were you posting recipe videos,
I
or was
was
it
doing
different?
everything. I was doing from Italian, from your everyday American food.
Mm.
I suck at first, but you know what? I came a long way. And so,
Hey, we all suck in the
um,
beginning. We all suck in
I know. I remembered I was like, let me try to do this dish again. And I aced it so
the
good. It was like a simple grilled cheese and tomato bisque soup and stuff. So yeah, it was a journey, I would say. It was a journey, but it did help mold me. It helped. I felt like I grew as a creator, not only for myself, but for other people around me that are inspired by cooking and stuff. I always get like our Khmer people DMing me about how certain recipes they're not able to do, and and when they find out like it's so simple, then I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's that simple. Like you guys could even do this at home. And just to see our people now going out there doing it, sharing recipes and all that stuff like that. I think it's amazing, and it's doing its own work actually, just keeping our tradition alive. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, you started off doing everything from like Italian food to grilled cheese to like whatever you were making
anything.
when you were in your like late teens. At what point then within this 15-year journey of you creating recipes were you like, I think I want to focus more on Khmer food?
I definitely have an answer for that. It started in 2023. Although I did do some Khmer food, but after 2023, I was like, you know what? I'm turning my page to strictly just more about Khmer food. And because like I've always wondered everywhere I go, there is Khmer restaurants out there. And you think to yourself, like Khmer restaurants, and then it says Cambodian Chinese or Cambodian Vietnamese cuisine. And I've just never seen any restaurant with just Cambodian restaurant. You know, how come we haven't stood on our own like that yet? It's something that I've been thinking about too. Like if I were to open something, I want us to stand on our own. I want us to have that, just to be on that pedestal by ourselves, like nothing, nobody affiliating with us, just Khmer, strictly Khmer.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we can do it. And I just, it's time that a lot of people got to see what Cambodian food is all about, Cambodian cuisine. And so I just had an itch to where like I want to show everything Khmer, even if it's something that has to do with sauce or dessert and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Tell me about that moment a little bit too in 2023. Like, was there a particular meal, restaurant, moment, something that you saw that made you really think, like, okay, you know what? Like, I just feel like my food is not represented enough. I mean, I can imagine in the Midwest too, you probably see a lot of fusion stuff kind of happening.
Yeah.
What really was it? Because at that point, you had been making content for how many
Quite a
years? Quite a while. That was a little bit all different things, right?
all different
But
things.
I think even for me, I followed you for a while, but I definitely felt a shift somewhere in your
It
content
was
where
a
you were like,
major shift. It was a major shift. And I didn't realize it until Gordon had told me that Cambodian food is not highlighted as much as it should be. And so I thought to myself after me getting my apron from him, I went back to my room, like, you know what? Hell yeah, you're right. So I
yeah.
was like, it's not represented that much. And like, as much as it deserves to be represented. So like I had a itch to where like once I was done with the competition, I was just ready to just do my own research, study a little bit more, talk with my parents, or especially my mom, talk with my mom a little bit more about going deeper into the recipes, knowing about rural recipes. So
Mhm.
I was just like, I wanted to go deeper and deeper until I couldn't go anymore. And it was my goal to go to Srokmai every year to learn about different techniques, different flavors. What flavors can I compare it with? Something that I used over there that I couldn't use here. So it
Mhm.
was more so like a little adventure for me as well, because like another thing is like me finding myself as well. I was able to go to Srokmai anytime I want every year. So I go every year till now. I started in 2023 and
Mm.
I have not missed a year of going to Cambodia, and it's just been a great journey for myself. So
Yeah. I mean, you bring up something very important, which I want to get into meeting Gordon and the whole, the
he
whole,
smells good.
we're if anyone knows him, look him up. He's obviously a prominent figure. Let's go back a little bit. I know that we're kind of time traveling, but talk to me about within that 15-year journey. I know that getting on MasterChef was quite interesting. They DM'd you and you thought it was a potential scam.
Yeah.
Um,
Thanks for remembering that because I was like ignoring it.
what was that like? And within 15 years, at what year was that? How many followers did you have? And at that point, they had DM'd you and you auditioned. Like, talk to me about that process and getting on MasterChef.
So throughout the 15 years of me doing content creating with cooking and stuff or whatever, like I mixed my hair job and then I mixed food. And then I'm just kind of like, who wants to learn about hair and food? Like that's not a thing. So that's why going back to the book, but I'll get to another part of that later. Throughout my cooking journey, Instagram paid us. So I was just so motivated to cook everything. So, I've always had like videos every week and stuff or whatever. I took the opportunity to take advantage of it. Like, I don't really see much Khmer food around. And so I've started doing like more Khmer food as a reel push off, like before it was reels. We only had 15 seconds back then. So it was very challenging to do that. Now we're like unlimited time. So, and then throughout the journey of doing that, one day I had a DM from one of the producers and they were looking for home cooks. I felt funny about it. I was just like, why, dude? Like, why me? I didn't feel like I was worthy enough to present Khmer food on television like that. I just didn't have that in me back then. And, it bothered me for about 2 weeks, actually. That DM bothered me because I'm just kind of like, is this a scam? Is this,
Mhm.
is this legit, But I had told my friend about it, and my friend was like, well, let me look them up on LinkedIn. And I was like, you know what, good idea. And so he looked them up, and it was sure enough legit. And I'm like, oh my God, I've ignored this person for like 2 weeks. And then my friend was like, what are you
DM
doing?
this
Go
guy
DM
right now.
them. I'm like, oh my gosh, DM them right now. And so I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe I just stopped this. I stopped interacting with this person. I could have deleted it, but I didn't because it stuck through me. So thankfully I didn't, because that opportunity would have not been where I'm at today. I just got a phone call the next thing. We started scheduling a Zoom call, started my process on casting tapes and getting on the show, and just like how I am with you now. They wanted to see my personality, what I'm able to present while getting on the show. And I just think that with me presenting myself and my background, it's something that they've never had before. And so once I got on, I'm just like, oh my God, is this really it? Like, did I just make history being the first Khmer to get an apron from Gordon? So it was really big to me once I got that, because it was like a journey. I worked night and day to try. Like, I'm telling you, casting is hard. And I'm
Mhm.
like, just by being in it is harder, because it's like a lot of mental strategies, and like you do get emotional while being on there, which they don't really show. But I'm very grateful where it led me. I'm just in awe still. I don't know. It's taught me a lot. So being on there just like made me feel like if I can do this, my people can do it too. And
Mhm.
I wish and I want to see more of us out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole process was how long? And tell me, what was the biggest lesson that you feel like you learned from that experience?
The whole process with everything, it was about, I want to say like 5 months,
Oh,
because
wow.
like you had to keep quiet, you had to
Mhm.
do everything that they want you to do. It's like an extra homework outside of your work. And so
Right.
yeah, it was just a lot going on. And once you get casted, you go through another level of casting, and then it was like layers and layers and layers and layers of it. And then like to think that I made it to the top 20 out of 38,000 people, and coming home top 12. I mean, that's pretty awesome to me. I almost made it to top 10, which I was kind of like, oh, just bring me to top 10, bring me to top 10 at least. But it's close enough. I think that one lesson I can take out of this was to not be afraid to show who you are. Go out there and just be you. Us growing up, we grew up not saying much about confrontation or any problems we have. We're always silenced. And so I just want to be able to let other people know, like, it's just like a walk in the park. Just be you and just learn from your mistakes. You know, everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. So just have
Yeah.
fun with it, because I literally thought about every single little thing. Like, am I presenting my people in the right way? Am I
Yeah.
doing stuff? Like, it was all in my head. That's why it was like so mental for me, because I'm just kind of like, did I do something wrong? I felt like I was going to let Khmer people down. To this day, I have not watched myself on the show. Even though we're on Hulu, I'm just like, I don't want to watch myself yet. It was a journey.
It's a lot of pressure, right? Like
A lot.
it's like, and also you didn't expect to be in that position. And then all of
No.
a sudden you are. And then you're like, wait, how the heck did I get here? And
Right.
how am I supposed to do this right? Like, and nobody's done it before you because you're the first one.
Mm-mm.
So you're like, you feel all this pressure to like put Khmer food to the forefront. You made a mok for them. And I
They
always,
chose a mock, by the way.
oh, they chose a mok.
I had 4 dishes for them to pick out for auditioning. They were like, wow, we've never seen this, and it looks quite exotic. And so I'm like, great, let's do it.
You know, and that's another thing about what you just mentioned, like authenticity. Sometimes we're
Mhm.
put in these really on these pedestals, and sometimes we might feel the pressure of like creating something that seems more digestible to
Oh,
people,
yeah.
like
To
watering
people.
down
Hmm.
our creativity or watering down the authenticity, you know, maybe
Yeah.
creating something Khmer fusion or creating something. But amok is very, very
Mm-mm.
much a Cambodian dish, and you
Hmm.
decided, and you know,
I went
it's
straight through with it. There was
straight
no
through with
diluting
it.
going on. Like, you either gonna eat it or you don't. So,
You're not diluting anything. It's amok. Amok is amok,
nope.
and so
I was not changing nothing about it. I stuck with it, and I'm just like, you know what? If this is gonna take me there, it'll take me there. If it's gonna send me home, at least I did it with pride.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And so honestly, that's probably also another reason why you rose to the ranks so quickly because you were so firm on making sure that the dishes that you were doing were real Khmer food.
hmm,
And so people were like, this is so different. And they clearly knew that there was something, it's something that they've never tried before. And I feel like
yeah,
you sticking to that only really made you stand out even more. I mean,
they
that's
were
so
curious.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Hmm.
curious.
Like, to make my own bowl out of banana leaves and everything, and to
Yeah.
show that side of like the cuisine of stuff, and how we would, we don't often need dishes or utensils in our culture. So I just
Hmm.
wanted to show that part as well. So I was really, really happy about it.
Was that like when you were going through that whole process, right? You were just talking about how you're like, I don't know how to, am I like presenting my people the right way? Am I doing this good enough? Through that process though, what were your non-negotiables? Like what in your head was like, okay, this is what I have to do to make the Khmer people proud? Or did you figure that out? Or was it just were you just kind of like moving as you go? What did you settle upon when you were going through that process in terms of
I
representing my people?
I was basically, my mom was in my head most of the time. So whatever she had taught me is whatever I did.
Yeah.
And I went in there like, I always hear mom in the back of my head, like, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. I just stuck to it. Also cleaned as I go.
Yeah.
I heard her in my head. It was like,
I clean that up.
clean as you go and all that stuff. Make yourself look good on TV and all that stuff. So I just did everything my mom taught me, step by step, and everybody was just so amazed on how much I could do within that 45 minutes. I was even like wild myself. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got this done within 45 minutes. And like, the ingredients that they had for me was like there. I was just like so thankful too. So it made everything was pretty good for me. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the hardest part of being on that show?
The hardest part being on that show was, which they didn't show, but they did had me FaceTiming my mom and dad on national TV, but they didn't use it, which I was kind of like, oh, they could have used it because everyone could have related. Like we spoke Khmer for about
Mhm.
5 minutes, just bawling my eyes out and like my mom lecturing me on the phone still. I'm like, Mom, you're on TV.
Oh,
So like I was
mom,
just
tone
like,
it
Mom,
down.
thank you. Yeah. Like just telling my mom and Khmer, like, thank you so much for like teaching me all these things because like I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for everyone, like our people that looks like me, you know? It was the saddest part too because throughout the competition I did talk about how growing up I didn't have much in my family. Like we grew up poor.
Yeah.
And so wasting food was not an option for us. And so in this competition where I had to split up a whole chicken with a whole group in my team, I was the only one that said, I want you guys to have all the meat and I will take the bones. And they were just looking at me like, what? The
Yeah.
bones? Yeah, give me the carcass. I'm going to make me some scalpel.
Yeah. That's what I
So,
learned.
yeah, I'm going to make me some scalpel and stuff. You know, it was something. And then, like, you know, people that weren't not quite like this. Like, yeah, I got made fun of for doing that, but you know, I did it. I did it with pride. It's who I am. It's how I grew up. You know, my mom fed all six of us, and she did not let anything go to waste.
Mhm.
So I stayed true to myself, my authentic self on the show. And it was sad for me to even be on the show explaining that, but it was just my raw, authentic self. That was the only sad part for me. And of course, going home.
Well, it's tough out there, you know. I mean, hey,
Hmm.
but I'm so glad that you decided to say to do that and to allow your mom to be your like driving
She
director as you
did.
were walking through
Mhm.
as you were going through that competition because that is truly how it is. And it shows a different side of the value of food
Mhm.
that a lot of people who watch that show I am sure can relate to, but maybe have just never seen it on TV before, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
Talk to me about meeting Gordon Ramsay.
So meeting Gordon Ramsay for the first time, you're just kind of like, oh my God, I grew up watching this guy, but you know, I'm not too crazy about him like that. But just to have him in front of my face, like it was such an honor. Like, oh my
Right,
God, you're really in front of me right now. Like he was pretty cool. Like he didn't
right.
take much time to like remember our name or ask our name. Like he knew our name from the go. It's like he studied us before we got there. And so like, you
Mm,
know, cameras off. He's like normal, down to earth like us. Cameras on. That's his personality, of course. So he basically like was talking to me behind the scenes about how he went to Cambodia as well. He made a mock. And so he was just like, did you know I made a mock in Cambodia? And I'm like, no, I've never seen it. Is there a link? And so when I watched it, I'm like, oh my God. Like, why didn't I watch this before the competition? And so when I was being judged on how I was doing my mock, I'm like, is Gordon Ramsay trying to tell me how to make a mock? So he was like, just, and you know what? He was right. He was right because I did ask my mom. I said, Mom, is it true that I'm supposed to put some sort of, you know, pieces of banana leaves on the bottom of the layer and then like whisk it up with some eggs just so it turns into more of a souffle, just so it doesn't get watered down and seep out the banana leaf, you know? And so my
mm,
mom was like, yeah, that's another thing that some Cambodians do is they crack one egg in there to turn it
mhm,
into more of a thick consistency bouncy souffle. And
right.
mine didn't have an egg in there. So he was just grading me on that. It was like, just next time, just add an egg in there, and then you're gonna stop the leaking from coming out of the banana leaf. So I thought it was pretty cool that he knew,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's tall and great. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you're like, I did not expect you to tell me how to make my
I
mug.
know, right?
Like,
Yeah,
bro
but
came prepared.
yes, they all love the flavors, like the spice that I had put into it. Like I like spice, so that's why I did it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And you mentioned that Gordon really kind of seemed to be the spark to be like, I need to be highlighting Cambodian food more. He had that conversation with you off screen, was that right? And he kind of what was that conversation
he
like?
he said it on screen during the judging part of the episode.
Yeah.
He was like, he said something under the lines of like, yeah, Cambodian cuisine is not highlighted enough as it deserves to be.
Mhm.
And I said, that's true. And so once I heard that, I took it home with me. And
Mhm.
I just started like learning more about, learning about more anything that we use in our
Mhm.
cuisine and
Mhm.
stuff. Like I want to know more about it, fermentation. I want to know
Yep.
more about the natural sweetness of the palm sugar. Like, we don't get it often over here. So, and it struck a nerve to me to go to Cambodia to find out more, go through the villages, talk to some locals, talk to my cousins, like, what do you guys do? It was like
Mhm.
a journey for me. So I made this whole thing as a journey for me to understand too, because I don't just want to cook something and then show it off to you guys and just be like, this is how it's made. And it's still a journey for me too. So it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. You leave the show,
Hmm.
and obviously at this point you've grown. That's probably added to your following. It's also put you on the map in terms of like a national scale, and
Oh
I
my
think
God, like I did not know I was all over Cambodia's news station like that either until
that's
until my cousin sent it to me and then like I started growing like followings from Cambodia. Like I want to say to my phone in Cambodia right now, like thank you guys so much for like supporting me as a Cambodian American because like I never got to know the locals like that over there until now. And like I just love them so much because they're so honest, they're so sweet, they give me advices and all that stuff too. So it's like a little brother sister thingy every time when I talk to them or go over there. And I just think it's amazing how far I came. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Cambodians, Americans, but also probably people in Cambodia as well,
Hmm.
recognize that on the global scale, a lot of people know Thai food, pad Thai, they know Vietnamese food, pho,
Hmm.
and that Cambodia, being a Southeast Asian country that is literally, neighbors to all that,
Hmm.
really does not have something on the global
No.
scale that people can refer to and recognize as being strictly Khmer food, as you had mentioned before. So, yeah, for sure. Even people within the country over there are like, wow, this is so cool that we can see amok on TV.
On
Like
TV.
it is so rare and almost kind of shocking because it's like, no way. Like,
I
can
would
that
have
actually?
never thought in like a million years that not only myself, but like bringing Khmer cuisine to the forefront of Fox and Gordon at that, it was
Mhm.
pretty big. It was pretty big. And so I took it and I ran with it. You know what? I just kept going.
Yeah,
I kept
yeah.
going.
I mean, you probably felt like a sense of extra responsibility, right? After that point.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Although I still get backlash from it, but if it hadn't been for Gordon just like giving us a little pointer behind the scenes and stuff like, just him explaining to us like, hey, you're gonna get backlash, but you know what? Stay true to yourself and you just
Mhm.
don't feed into the negativity. Just you're there to do one thing. You're doing a good job at it and just keep going. You can't please everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
So
super cool that he has that like that guidance for you guys, right? Because I'm
yeah.
sure at the end of the day, he is also like a chef
Oh,
himself in
oh,
some
of course.
ways.
I'm sure he's so used to it as well.
Right, right. Of people nitpicking at, the
Hmm.
recipes that you do and like, oh, that's not quite or not quite enough or
Get it all the
whatever
time.
it is. Yes, yes, yes. When you are going through just like this extra responsibility and this weight that you are carrying at this point, how are you now defining what Khmer authentic food is? Is it what your mom taught you? Is it what you're currently learning? And when you're creating these recipes, to you, what makes the Khmer food authentic?
So, how I define my food now, being home, like my mom said, no shortcuts. Do what you have been learning because I had to do what I have been learning from the
Mhm.
ancestors and stuff, whatever. So, and not only that, by me saying that is more so me putting stuff out there, I want to be able to do it in the correct way in the brightest light ever because I don't want to put something out there that is not traditional to our culture
Mm,
because it starts to create, like a track, like one person doing this, oh, this person said do this or this person said do that. And so I just want to lead whatever I do with the right way of how I was taught. So
mm,
just being traditional, just being authentic, that's how I carried myself after the show, was
mhm.
just to stay true with, no shortcuts.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
everything the Khmer way.
Do
And
it the
so,
right way. Yes.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now that you've left the show, you are now trying your best to really, really focus on uplifting Khmer food and
Mhm.
recipes. What is your goal, would you say, at the end of all this? What is it that you want to see for Khmer food?
The end goal from all of this, I want to see more of our people getting out there and just anybody can do it. It's not just me. Everyone can do it. I want to see our food stand out. I want to see our food in regular, magazines just out of nowhere. Like, I just want us to shine like everybody else on our
Mhm.
own. That's it. That's like no mainstream affiliation or anything, just on our own, just to highlight our kindness. So I just want to be able to come up with something in the future to where it's what I can call my own. And for example, you coming to my restaurant, be like, oh my God, this is an actual Khmer restaurant. And,
Mhm.
5-star Khmer restaurant is my goal.
Mhm.
So, yeah. And also a book in the future. That's my goal.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
you're visiting Cambodia every year, obviously, as you mentioned, since
Mhm.
2023. It's been 3 years now. And every year you've been going back and learning the recipes, learning it from the root
Yeah.
of the motherland. Every year as you're learning, what have been the biggest lessons so far? Like what has that whole experience been like to kind of integrate this yearly trip back into your life?
It has done for me so far. Like, I don't always speak the clearest Khmer. I've learned so much as well while being there. Not only that, like the alphabets, we grew up Cambodian Americans. I don't write Khmer like that. I have to make sure I don't write in Khmer like that because, like, we have one of the largest alphabets in the whole wide world.
Hmm.
So for me to do that, it's like still a learning process as well. But to be able to communicate with the locals like easily nowadays has been a flex for me because I'm just kind of like I was always that Khmer person to like struggle, like stutter in between sentences. But now I'm just like chilling back, talking to them like I knew them or something like that. So it's great. It was like it is something that I didn't really have to learn, but I was like I told myself it's like, you know what, I'm in another country. I'm in my parents' country. Like I this would be a good time to like learn how to speak more Khmer. And so
Hmm.
after 3 years, I'm just kind of like, it was like a walk in the park. And I'm just so thankful that I was able to do that.
Yeah.
Learning how to spend Khmer money. But
Yeah.
now they have like QR codes, which is easier. Yeah, that was like the biggest lesson I've done so far within those 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And what are you doing actively to like learn and kind of sharpen your Khmer cuisine skills?
I've been trying to put it onto more of my content, especially with certain Khmer dishes. I want to be able to do voiceovers and Khmer and all that stuff. And
Hmm.
obviously, I talk to my cousins overseas as well. They've actually helped me too. There's like, hey, Mong, if you have any questions about wanting to do your voiceovers in Khmer or anything you need to know
Hmm.
about or anything for us to look at before you post it, just let us know. And
Yeah.
so I think it's to be able to have cousins back in Cambodia to help you, it's kind of like it's the best of both worlds because you're just kind of like you were born here, but you
Yeah.
have family over there that is able to help you and to teach you things that you don't normally hear about. So
Yeah.
obviously our parents had to come to America not speaking a lick of English and look at where we're at now. So
Hmm.
just thinking about that just amazes me as well. Like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them as well. So I think it's an incredible journey for me, and I'm still gonna push forward and continue on what I need to do.
Yeah, yeah. How do your parents feel about this whole journey as well when you kind of look back and they've seen you on television? I'm sure they didn't expect that as well. And like,
Mm-mm, they didn't.
how do your parents feel about this?
They're my biggest supporters at the end of the day, and like the fact that, and I'm sure you can relate to it as well. Your parents saying they were proud of you for the first time on national TV. It's kind of like big for us, you know. That was
Mhm.
that actually got me very emotional on TV when they said that because I've never heard that from them before. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, they're proud of us. They're proud of us for sure. Yeah, but it was never expressed. You know,
yeah.
they express it in a different way. They express it by buying you things or making you food or asking what do you want to eat and all that stuff. But to say that they're proud of you on TV in front of Gordon was like so
Mhm.
big.
Yeah.
Again, I wish they would have used that on TV, but they didn't. They have been my ride or die because everything I do, they always say, hey, maybe you should do this or maybe you should do that. That's not the traditional way. Let me teach you. So
Mhm.
I, I'm so thankful for all that. Before they used to always kick me out the kitchen when I was little, but now they're just kind of like coming in and slowly teaching me and all that stuff. So they're behind a lot of my work that I do on my content creation as well.
Yeah. A lot of up and coming young chefs have that same story of
Mhm.
having food and cuisine be the bridge to conversation, the bridge to healing in a lot of ways with their parents
Mhm.
that would have maybe not have happened if it wasn't for the food as a way to kind of
Food
chat
brings us together.
and yeah and open up that conversation. Do you feel like you're a lot closer to your parents after this
Oh
whole
my gosh,
experience?
100%. 100%. You know, like they are like my everything. They're my inspiration for everything I do. So for them to like, teach me still and be basically be more open to their kids
Hmm.
about today's society and back then, would always like to compare back then to nowadays and stuff or whatever. But
Yeah,
I feel they have let their guards down a little bit and kind of like let us in and
yeah.
ask them some stuff that happened back then because before they didn't really want to talk about it. So
Yeah.
that's basically it.
It's beautiful how every family has their own kind of way throughout their own healing journey, right? Like,
Hmm.
and everyone has a different timeline and when our parents are feeling more and more comfortable to open up about the past. But it's for some foodies and creators out there, I have noticed this pattern that like food really has been just a beautiful opener to like the rest of the things that maybe you guys have always wanted to talk about, right? If you had to choose one dish, we talked about how Vietnamese have pho, Thai people have pad Thai. If you had to choose one dish to really highlight and you would think would be kind of the dish to represent Cambodia, what do you think that would be?
ชาเครื่องแซกมอน
Mm.
ชาเครื่องแซกมอน or ก๋วยเตี๋ยว
Mm.
and again people like to confuse ก๋วยเตี๋ยว with Cambodian pho, which is not. So it's something that I want to come out with later on about Cambodian Katil because I feel like it's being spread out around in a false way a little bit. Not that it's
Yeah.
bad, but just a little tweak and stuff. So I'm gonna be working on something with that a little bit later on. But เครื่อง okay, Krung is like our most important ingredient in the Khmer household. I want cha krung, anything that's lam chu krung, anything that has to do with krung. It's like ours. Like
Yeah.
we want to be able to just push that out there and tell people what is krung. Krung is so versatile. Like you guys have no idea. It's
Hmm.
like it should be. in a Lee Kum Kee bottle or something, and should be distributed out in the markets and for everyday use, for stir fry, for soups, for anything. I just think it's amazing how versatile it is. And yeah, if one thing I should pick, it would have to be grilled.
Yeah.
So
what other projects are you working on?
I can't say too much, but I have an upcoming project coming up as well.
Okay.
So you guys stay tuned, because whatever I do, I kind of want to do it to where I'm the kind of guy that if I'm going to do something, I want to do something like on my own terms, as in like learning it for myself. I don't want no shortcuts. I want to be able to, just like, for example, I've been studying more about beauty and stuff, like beauty fields and stuff, or whatever, because I did hair and stuff or whatever.
Right.
So now I feel like I want to look into microblading. And so, yeah, I want to be one of the top Khmer microbladings in Ohio. So learning into that, I want to do a lot of things. Like I still want to come out with a franchise here. I still want to own something. It's just gonna take some time and some moolah. And so
yeah.
So there's a lot of things that I want to do, but I'm just kind of like, oh my God, I'm one person. I just gotta breathe, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But sure enough, it's to come.
Yeah. Yeah. I thank you for coming on today, Charles. I think there are so many listeners out there who are going to get a lot of value out of this conversation. And not only that, but like to get a little bit of perspective of what it feels like and what you should have in top of mind if you were to represent Cambodian food on a national scale like you did. You know, I mean, you were the first one on there. And because of that, I mean, there are so many people behind you who are so proud of you, the way that you had led that. And there are probably some people out there who would be in that position and be like, you know what, I'm going to water it down. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to do what I have to do to make it acceptable and digestible. But you made sure that you didn't do that, right? You made sure that mom's voice was really top of mind as you navigated that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then not only that, you took that inspiration to be like, you know what, actually, I'm going to switch my platform and make sure it's all about Khmer food. And I think that's exactly what our community needs, to be honest, right? Like, it is so true. There aren't enough Khmer restaurants. There aren't enough people who recognize what grung, what brahok is. And it's sad because it's so tasty and it's so good. It takes people in the youth too, I feel like. Somebody who has energy for the creativity to really push it forward on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. So I'm just super, super proud of you. I'm super excited to see where you go and what projects you take on. I hope that many more projects fly your way, because I know that you will be able to carry the Khmer food in the way that I feel like all of us will be proud of.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I wanted to give you your flowers. Where can people find you if they wanted to follow you?
You can surely find me on Charles Calvino Hang on Facebook or Charles Calvino on Instagram. So I've taken a break from TikTok, so you won't find me there yet.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot for us content creators out there, guys. Okay, so
oh my gosh,
it's a lot of work.
I need to breathe.
I need a minute.
Right. I need some time, please.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on here, Charles. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much again. Bye-bye.